Welcome to a dystopian future where humanity has been genetically altered. People stop aging at 25, but from that moment on, a countdown clock begins to tick on their arm. You get exactly 1 year to live, no exceptions, unless you earned more time. In this world, time is the currency. Need food? Pay with time. Want to travel? Time, please. Even a cup of coffee could cost you minutes off your life. You can transfer time to someone else or store it in capsules. But if your clock hits 0, you die instantly. Our story begins with a man named Will living in the poor district of Dayton with his mother. It's a place where most people barely have 24 hours on their clocks. Every day is a race against death. Work, earn time, survive one more day. It's Will's mother's birthday, but strangely enough, she looks like she could be his sister. That's because no one ages past 25. Time doesn't touch the body. It only takes life away. She tells Will she only has 3 days left. She needs to pay her electricity bills and her loan. Will offers to help, planning to work extra shifts at the factory. But she insists she'll work overtime tonight and they'll meet tomorrow at the bus stop to celebrate. Before leaving, she gives Will 2 hours so he can have breakfast. On his way to work, Will meets a young girl named Maya. She's desperate, asks for some time. Will gives her 5 minutes from his own life. She thanks him and leaves. When Will reaches the factory, everything has gotten more expensive. Prices have skyrocketed, costing more time than ever. Even transport and coffee are becoming luxuries. Will and his friend are troubled. How long can they keep up like this? On the street, they pass a dead man. His clock ran out. That night, Will and his friend head to a club. It's here that Will spots a stranger, calm, rich, and glowing with time. His clock shows a full century left. Will warns him, "You shouldn't be here. People kill for time in Dayton." But the man brushes it off, too drunk to care. Soon enough, Will's fears come true. A gang of time thieves shows up, led by a feared gangster. They've come to steal the stranger's time. Chaos erupts. People flee, but Will stays hidden, watching carefully. The gangster corners the rich man, who excuses himself to the restroom. But while he's vomiting in there, one of the gang's men stands guard outside. Will takes out the guard and rescues the rich man just in time. They hide in a nearby building, narrowly escaping the gang. The rich man introduces himself. Henry, from the elite city of New Greenwich. He's 105 years old. Will, shocked, asks him, "Why carry so much time?" Henry's answer is chilling. "Because I'm tired of living. I've seen and done everything. Time loses meaning when you have too much of it." The two drink together through the night. As they fall asleep, Henry silently transfers all his remaining time to Will, leaving only 5 minutes for himself. When Will wakes up, his clock is overflowing. Henry is gone. Moments later, Henry walks to a bridge, and as his final seconds tick away, he jumps. Broken heart, Will is stunned. He rushes to his best friend, explaining everything. "Henry gave me 100 years, just like that." As a gift, Will gives his friend 10 years of his own time, a powerful gesture in this world of scarcity. Meanwhile, his mother, relieved and hopeful, has finally paid her debts. She heads back to Dayton, planning to reunite with Will. But tragedy looms. At the bus stop, the driver tells her the fare has increased. She's short on time. She runs, desperate, trying to reach her son. Every second matters. And then, her clock runs out. Tick, tick. The cost of a bus ride just doubled, from 1 hour to 2. Will's mother only has 90 minutes left. Panicked and breathless, she runs, desperate to reach her son. At the same time, Will is waiting at the bus stop, 100 years of time on his clock, ready to take his mother away to a better life. But she never arrives. He runs to find her, and then, in the most heartbreaking moment, he sees her. She reaches out for him and collapses in his arms. Her timer hit 0. Will screams in anguish. With all the time in the world, he still couldn't save the one person who meant everything. Grief turns to resolve. Will decides he will leave Dayton behind and head to New Greenwich, a city where the elite live for centuries while the poor die by the hour. Meanwhile, timekeepers, the futuristic police, begin investigating the mysterious death of Henry, the man who gave Will his time. They review CCTV footage but get no clear leads. Still, surveillance cameras at the time zone border catch Will crossing into Greenwich. Now, he's on their radar. In Greenwich, Will checks into a luxury hotel, blending in like he belongs. There, he sees Sylvia Weiss, the stunning daughter of the city's most powerful man. He heads to a casino where time is gambled like chips. There, Will faces off in a high-stakes poker match with Felipe Weiss himself, Sylvia's father, and a man so rich, he's practically immortal. As the bets rise into centuries, Will wins. Impressed, Felipe introduces him to Sylvia. She invites Will to a lavish party at their mansion. Dressed in style, driving a sleek car, Will shows up and dances with Sylvia under the glittering lights, an outsider shaking up their perfect world. But the timekeepers crash the party. They arrest Will, demanding to know, "Where did you get all this time?" Will explains everything. Henry gave it to him. But the timekeepers don't believe him. They strip him of all but 2 hours. Just then, Will turns the tables. He grabs Sylvia, holds her at gunpoint, and flees the mansion. As they drive, Sylvia is furious. "You kidnapped me." But Will tells her the truth. Her father is the reason people die in Dayton. He lends time with brutal interest, keeping the poor trapped. Suddenly, bang, their car crashes. They're knocked unconscious. The gangster from earlier finds them. Will only has 2 minutes left. Sylvia's loaded with time. The gangster drains Sylvia's clock, but police sirens scare him off. When Will and Sylvia awaken, Sylvia is devastated. Her time is nearly gone. Will visits his old friend. Remember the one he gave 10 years to? But tragedy strikes again. His friend drank himself to death, spending time like it was free. Lost, Will pawns Sylvia's earrings to buy them 2 more days. Then he brings her to Dayton. Sylvia sees the real world for the first time, workers begging for time, families barely surviving. Her worldview shatters. Sylvia's father, Felipe, hasn't yet replenished her time. She tells Will, "I won't go back. Let's change the system, together." But it won't be easy. They call Felipe. Just then, timekeeper Raymond, Ray, arrives. Sylvia pulls a gun. Will buys them time to escape. Ray always travels with only 1 day of time, his badge of discipline. But this time, he's made a mistake. Now, Will and Sylvia have a plan. Rob Felipe's bank, where millions of years are stored. They pull it off, stealing a massive capsule and spreading it among the poor in Dayton. People cheer, leaping to grab time from the sky. The balance has shifted. Sylvia's father is enraged, his own daughter turned against him. Next day, Sylvia and Will are found in a hotel. Ray and his team storm the place, but they escape out the window, again. They know time is running out, for them and for the system. The gangster, lured by a 10-year bounty, tracks them to Dayton. He storms their room with his crew, but Will challenges him to a deadly arm wrestle, where the loser dies. Will wins, drains his time, and the gangster collapses with 0 seconds left. In Greenwich, the banks raised loan interest to 37%. Will realizes nothing's changed. The system is fighting back. Sylvia suggests something bigger. Take the million-year capsule from her father. She pretends to surrender. Will ambushes Felipe. They steal the million-year capsule and race to Dayton again. Ray hears the news. He's close. He slams into their car with his own. In the chaos, Will gives the capsule to a familiar face, Maya, the same girl he once gave 5 minutes to. He tells her, "Distribute it, let the poor live." Ray pulls a gun, but as Maya releases the capsule, chaos erupts. A flood of time reigns over the people. The city rejoices. Will and Sylvia escape, but Ray isn't done. He chases them until the very last second. Will begs him, "Give us your time. You'll die otherwise." But Ray is too blinded by duty. He checks his arm. Too late. Ray's clock hits 0. He drops. Now Will and Sylvia, armed with Ray's capsule, are flush with time again. The system begins to crumble. News flashes. Dayton citizens are crossing into Greenwich. The Great Divide is falling apart. The timekeepers realize their power is gone. They walk away from their jobs. In the final shot, Will and Sylvia stand outside another bank, preparing for one last heist. The revolution isn't over.